So how's the Snowman coming along?
I was looking for a hat, so he's not truly complete, but this is what you do. He's got a metal nose. If you can see that, that's some metal shavings. Then some bits of styrofoam, and then of course a lovely...
So if you don't know what we made this out of, tune into the rest of the video. You're going to see this. You're going to be amazed what Esther made that out of.
Mr. Hickey?
This is how we make snowmen in Florida.
Was this after walking the dog by any chance?
No, I didn't walk the dog.
They didn't walk the dog, so there's nothing to do with the dog.
No, it's not. It's not made.
It's not organic.
No, it's not.
It's not processed. Dog processed food. So stay tuned. You're going to see what that is. All right. So this S2000 is here for some maintenance. Look at the front of the car. If our curb was higher, it'd damage that bumper. I'm going to talk to him about that real quick. This is actually a long-time customer of ours that just bought this car, and he bought it from a friend of ours, works at one of the Honda dealerships. He called me and said, hey, we have a really nice S2000 come in. If this is something you can use or pass on. This is a really nice 2002, low mileage, very clean. We're just doing maintenance on this. Quick story, he went down, looked at it, bought it on the spot. Super nice. Even the top looks like it is brand new. Interior's nice. The seat bolster isn't all tore up, which we often see. Super low mileage car. Super duper clean. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. You can always tell a new S2000 owner, because look how far he pulled up. So this car has 37,000 miles, even though it's very low miles. It is an 02, so we're looking at 18 years old. You can see how dark this fluid is right here, and this is something we've mentioned in many other videos, and it's something that gets overlooked all the time, even by the dealerships. This is something that should be flushed with fresh fluid and get all that dirt out, because it does, over time, break down the seals in your master cylinder. So you can see how dark that is. You can't see the bottom. Well, over time that does cause problems. It does break down the seal in the master cylinder, and it can break down the seals in the calipers and cause them to leak and stick and all kinds of problems. So one of the things we're going to do is drain that out. We're going to clean as much of this as we can with a Q-tip, just so we can get a lot of the gunge out. I'm going to start flushing that out. This small one over here, it's going to be a similar story. This is the clutch reservoir and master cylinder down here. Same story. Look at that. You see how gungy that is? This just never gets done. This came right from a dealership, and it never gets addressed. I don't know why. I don't know why that isn't something that is mandatory to do on this year car, especially with this age, or at least check it. One of the other things we're going to do here is the serpentine belt, and again, it's not the miles, it's the years. 18 years on rubber, especially on a Florida car, that will cause the belt to dry rot and prematurely fail. So it's something that is fairly easy to do. We do a lot of them. Replace that. It's one belt, dries everything, so it's a good idea to replace it. So that's what it looks like after we flush a whole bunch of clean fluid through there. You can actually see the bottom on this now, where before it was like the bottom of a river. Look at that. Took quite a bit of flushing and clean fluid. Same with this. That is just like a tarnish on the aluminum, but we flushed that all the way out and got that thing clean. And now the clutch feels smoother because you're not pushing a whole bunch of dirt and debris through the system as you're operating the clutch. Still got these to do a serpentine belt. You had a check engine light 1456, which is almost certainly the fuel cap. Went ahead and cleaned that, put a little bit of WD-40 on it and cleaned it, make sure it would tighten up a little bit smoother because it was sticky. We'll clear that code. Hopefully that fixes that, and we'll document that. But let's go up and do the next thing. Trans fluid, it doesn't look really bad, but it's not clear, which almost certainly is the original trans fluid as well. It's only 37,000 miles, but it is 17, almost 18 years old. So you make the judgment there. Would you want it replaced, or would you say, nope, let's go all the way to however many miles they recommend? It's getting changed. All right, this one is finished. Just checking it over one more time. Cross him off the list. We'll call him, and this one is done. All right, so this is one of our regular customers. It's here for a starter. this is something we see quite often on an S2000. Once I start getting up in the miles, if you turn the key on, hit the start button, which you all know that these cars have a start button. Well, when you press this button and you hear the engine start, then it makes like a scraping sound, almost like a dragging sound afterwards. It's more than likely the starter. Right now, this is the best starter ever. Alright, this is a 2004 S2000, came all the way from South Carolina. When I say all the way, it's only 600 miles up the road, but he still made the trip. Sorry for the beeping in the background. I have no clue what that is.
Terry's out there.
Terry backing up. So this car is getting a whole host of stuff rather than me listing it and telling you what we're doing. Let me go ahead and go over the list real quick and show you. He's getting the soft top. He wants the OEM blue, which I actually like the way it looks on Suzuka blue. It doesn't look good on any other color, but Suzuka blue does look good. FX300 package, the ultra balanced flywheel, rebuild shifter, Walbro fuel pump, clutch flush, coolant flush, diff flush, trans flush with royal purple, adjust valves if necessary. I don't think it needs it. Sounds pretty good. LHT brake package, OEM spark plugs, TCT replace, and serpentine belt. He's in preparation for possibly doing more down the road, so he wants to kind of keep his options open. Stay tuned for this one. It might get either a supercharger or a turbo. Stay tuned, we'll see more on this, but let's take a few things apart, kind of show you along the way. Let me just show you the top. It's not absolutely awful. It is an aftermarket top. I see it doesn't fit too well around here. It's wrinkly, and of course, if I can see through the camera right here, see the straps, see that right there? It doesn't show up on camera. These should be elastic, and they're turned into kind of like stringy material, so top doesn't operate quite as well. So we're going to change that, put new elastics in, new hardware, make this thing look like $1 million. Alright, transmission is away. Clutch is OEM. Looks pretty good. Don't see a whole bunch of clutch material all over the place, which is always good. Customers always want to know how their car is being tread, and of course clutch is one of those like indications of if it's been abused or if it's been driven normal, if it's, you know, had a hard life. So it's always good to show the customer this. So what better way to use the video to show them. So we'll take this clutch off, we'll take a look at it and look it over before we start installing the new one. Of course, with our clutch package, we replace this slide. It's just a full package. Replace that slide, clean everything up, put a new boot on there, new seal in the transmission, re-grease everything. And if it's an AP1, we replace the bolts. This is an AP2, so it has the 8mm bolts. Much beefier bolt. Don't have a problem with those, so we'll reuse the OEM bolts on this one. All right, this is the clutch. Looks pretty good. A few hot spots around there. It's had a little bit of slipping, but it's not real blue. And the flywheel looks good too. Well, this is the AP2 flywheel. I've already talked about that. These suckers are heavy. We're changing it to our ultra balanced flywheel, which is pretty close to the stock weight of an AP1. I believe it's about 1.5 pounds lighter. And it's ultra balanced, so if you do rev it out, you will notice it's quite a bit smoother. It'll rev up and rev down a little bit faster, a little bit better. Faster, more precise gear changes. You can actually see the spring loose in that one. You see that? It's moved in. You can see that. That is where you get the clutch buzz from, by the way, is that spring moving in there. A lot of people think that only certain brands have it. That's an OE disc. As you see, both of those springs are loose, but that's a little bit of your noise from DXL. You'll hear that. It's not a spring buzz or clutch buzz. That's what it's caused by. So one of the things that he wanted is to rebuild the shifter, which is these new parts right here. Take it apart, completely clean it, replace these, and reinstall it. Makes the shifter a little bit tighter, takes the slop out of it, gives it a little bit more of a precise feel, makes the car feel a little bit newer. So keep that in mind if it's something you'd like to do. At the same time, this is our shifter rebuild. Alright, so now we have the shifter back in. This has the new bushings, and it really does tighten it up. It takes a lot of that slop out of it, makes it feel more precise. One of the things I'm going to show you right here is this is notorious for falling apart. As you see this, it turns to like a mushy, sticky, it's yuck. But this is a foam, basically like a sound insulator here to stop the noise from the engine coming into the cab. and you see it fall apart. It just turns, if I can focus, it just turns yucky. I want to pull this out and show you it, and we have them in stock to replace it, but it looks like a foam ring, but I mean, it's messy to take it out. I'll take it out and show you it. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Before I throw it in the bin, I want someone that is really used to dealing with really clean, yucky stuff. So we have the
really clean, yucky
stuff. So just go ahead and you can actually mold that into your, you know, your favorite creature.
Oh,
I mean, you can make
like
a
this.
snowman. It's
You
good.
could.
You could mash that in the carpet, get it on the dog. It's like Play-Doh.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
your favorite. This is supposed to be sponge. Isn't that amazing how it's changed completely?
Yeah, it's because it's dry rotted.
You can actually mix that and put it in your coffee, and it'll make the coffee get that really bitter Colombian taste. I don't know really where I'm going, but it will actually change the taste of your coffee. You go ahead and work on a snowman. I'm going to show them what the sponge is supposed to look like, if we have one in stock. Hopefully we do, because we turned his sponge it's into yucky brown balls.
I'm gonna make...
There it is right there. So this is what it's supposed to look like, and you want me to do the JDM thing and cover up the part number. There's the part number. You see what it is? There is the part number for this piece. We do keep them in stock because we're starting to see these things. Alright, so that's how it goes, basically back in there. As you see now, it's sponge. This is what it turned, this is where it started life as, is nice insulation foam, but it's going to tuck back in there. Just kind of work it in. It fits, and it should sit straight up and down. As you see, it sits in there nice and tight, fills that gap. It's not one of those clever little things that you don't think about until it falls apart, then the car starts getting kind of noisy. This is the replacement piece that goes back in. As long as all the tabs are in good shape, it'll snap back in. I'm going to go ahead and clean this because it looks just gross, and I wanted to show you, I'll show you what it looks like. So use that little pressure washer. There you go, ready on demand. So I just put a little bit of cleaner on that, let it soak. Let me go ahead and sit the camera up right here. Let me show you a quick demo how we clean it. Ready? Go ahead and clean your hands too. There we go, simple as that. Look how nice that looks. Go ahead and dry it, reinstall it. Looks like brand new. Alright, so now it looks like brand new. We can reinstall this, and as you see, it's kind of got a natural shape to it. That's the way it's been sitting. Put it back the same way, just so it doesn't make it pull one way harder than the other. It's naturally got that shape. And if you put it back together, it should feel like a shifter, but look at that, it's nice and precise. Makes a big difference. I really like that. So this is the completion right here. We have it almost looks like a cowboy hat.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, trying to be a top hat, but yeah, I guess it does kind of look cowboy.
It does. It looks kind of like a western hat. And this over here we talked about. What is that?
This is second option. This is option B. So either you can have this
Classic hat. He looks like he's falling over.
Oh, he's fallen. He's fallen.
He looks like the heat is melting.
Well, you know, that's what happens when you're in Florida. So you can either have that option,
and the red hat is
or
what?
The red one might be full of Christmas magic, make him stand up straighter again.
That's true.
This
It looks
is the-
like he's holding no better now.
it's the yo hat.
Yo. Does that mean he listens to an open header on the dyno?
Yeah, I mean,
That's a yo hat.
I kind of feel like the yo hat is a bit more festive.
It is. He's
Yeah.
definitely got the lean going. Look at that.
Oh,
Whoa, he's
Whoa,
gone.
he's gone, and he left some on the counter.
He looks like a turd.
That's how he sits in the Civic, he leans it all the way back.
Alright, so that's what the spark plug cover looks like. We refinished that, did it in the nice gold, and then surfaced the letters. It definitely finishes that off. Look at that. The stainless Allens right there, it really finishes that off and kind of shows that we've been in there and put a little bit of love into it. Next thing, we have to bleed the fluid. The new brakes are on. Let me show you real quick. New caliper, the rebuilt calipers, new rotors, new pads, and the Goodrich line. So we're gonna flush a whole bunch more fluid through there, make sure it's as clean as we can get it, then bleed. All right, so this one is finished. Look how good that looks. That made a big difference right there. Now, if you want to talk about big difference, the full blue interior anyway. The whole thing is blue, the dash, the carpet, the door panels. But this goes with the car really well. We've done a few like this. I won't put that top on any other car, But on the Suzuka Blue, I definitely think that's a option. Keep that in mind. If you want that, we can offer that. Every other car, do black. Don't put that color top on anything else. But this one is done. Just took it for a test drive. Did a basic brake test. It takes a little bit of time for the brakes to wear in, same as the clutch to brake in, but we always like to do a basic test, make sure everything is happy, make sure there is nothing funny going on, and then we can call the customer and say, come and get it. So guys, thanks for watching. I know we have a lot of S2000 content. I don't want it to get where it's the S2000 only channel. I don't want you guys to get bored, but we do have a pretty good S2000 following, and I like to share some of our ideas and tips with the S2000 guys, because it is like a community after all. I do want to say this Saturday, check out Raitis Rides.
There's no 100% perfect car.
No.
And it's like, every car has this little thing, but I'm a car guy, and that's what's awesome at the end of the day.
So you like what you like, and whether it's a brand or not,
exactly.
That's what you like.
Exactly.
Joe, a good friend of mine, he came by last week, filmed the Integra, drove it, and he's doing a review on the car. He's probably edited the video, but tune in this Saturday. I haven't seen it. I'm going to be watching it at the same time as you are, and I'm not nervous, but I'm very excited to see what he has to say about it, because he's a very critical guy. He likes what he likes. He's not a brand specific guy, which I like too. There's no such thing as a perfect car, and I want to see what he thinks about it. I don't want him to say it's the best car in the world and you can't fault it, because I don't know. So check it out this Saturday. Real quick backstory, I met Joe at a Cars and Coffee, walking around looking at cars. Great place to meet car people, by the way, Cars and Coffee. It does start early, so be aware of that. I met him, we got talking cars. We're sitting there looking at, I like that car, I don't like that, I don't like those wheels. So we had a lot in common, and he kind of thinks the same way as me. So good guy, check him out, Raitis Rides. Click the link or just go to his channel and hit the subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.